From Gonda we drove north to Aksum to the Stele Park, then south to Lalibela to the rock monasteries, where we separated from our friends. We took a boat tour to the island monasteries of Bahir Dar, a stopover in Addis Ababa to organize a visa, and later at Lake Langano we relaxed. The border crossing into Kenya was no problem, and now we drive on the frightened Moyale road to Marsabit and Isiolo. We hear many horror stories and, moreover, the rainy season has started, which makes things not easier. We are lucky not being forced to drive in convoy, although it is reported of robberies. The track allows a maximum of 20 km per hour, so it will take us for the 500 km distance, with a lot of luck, just 2 days. It is difficult to drive because heavy trucks have left deep ruts, and we must always balance the van in the higher parts of the road not to slip into the ruts. After 14 continuous hours of driving, we reach the halfway town Marsabit and promptly drown in mud in the flooded town. With the help of the sand ladders and many helpers, we can free ourselves and reach, after a violent spin on a curve in the mud, Henry's campsite. At the campsite we meet again Cape Townian Joachim and the 2 German motorcyclists Wolfgang and Sibylle. We wait here a few days until the weather improves, enjoy Henry's private bakery and cheese, and make a walk with Wolfgang and Sibylle to the market of Marsabit. At the market of Marsabit there is an abundance of goods other than in Ethiopia, and we stock up our supplies with some food to survive the next 250 kilometers. With last strength we make it to Isiolo in the Gadissa lodge. 15 kilometers from the lodge our bearing gave up. Now some good advice, because at the end of the world it is difficult to get spare parts for our vehicle. Sibylle and Wolfgang have also arrived, and a mechanic who takes a close look at the problem. The problem is quickly identified. We need new wheel bearings and the housing must be welded. Not so easy. With luck we could get new wheel bearings. Wolfgang is a mechanic and supervises the proper installation, and soon we are ready to drive again. In Buffalo Springs National Park, motorcycles are not allowed, so we do a 2-day trip to the park with Wolfgang and Sibylle with our van. We have to smuggle Tara, but we managed, and after the gate we see our first elephants. We are excited, because so much luck we did not expect. We watch the elephants for a while, and on the game drive warthogs cross our way. After a short drive, even the long-necked Gerenuk was crossing our way. Gerenuks are gazelles and only found in Buffalo Springs National Park. After the heavy rains of recent days, the Iwaso-Nikwo River, the bridge to Samburu National Park, was badly damaged, so there is no way for us to cross. But we still see gray zebras and Lara antelopes. It's getting late and we set up our bush camp. Sibylle and Wolfgang will sleep in tents. Alexandra makes a bushwalk with the armed guards of our night camp. The new morning greets us with beautiful giraffes. What more could we expect from life? The reticulated giraffe is living in northern Kenya as opposed to the southern Maasai giraffe, which has a different pattern. At the moment here is mating season, so we can observe how couples tie their necks around each other, the prelude to the actual mating. We leave Isiolo to Nairobi, and at the height of Mount Kenya, we cross the equator for the first time. We have to take a picture, of course. It is not every day you cross the equator. Passing Narumoro, a small town with little infrastructure, we get to the Rift Valley on very good roads, and after a few hours drive, we are already in the city bustle of Nairobi, where we settle down at a campsite called Jungle Junction, which is led by Chris because we have a problem again. Our shock absorber suspension is broken. While the mechanics are sorting out the damage, we take a taxi and visit Nairobi. Our goal is the tower of the Kenyatta International Center, from where you have a good view over Nairobi. From an altitude of 105 meters, we can see modern Nairobi spreading, with high-rise buildings that form the city center. In front of the building there is the statue of the founder Jomo Kenyatta. His eyes are directed at the Parliament building with clock tower. We want to visit the Maasai market. Much to the disadvantage of the tourists, the market is well organized. It is a local market and is managed by the community. When you approach the market, you immediately are accompanied by a guy that presses a bag in your hand and walks through the market with you. Things you want to buy you put into that bag, also if the vendors are different, and at the end you are led behind a bush where you pay. There starts the bargaining. The tourist loses the battle in any case, leaving the market with goods you do not need and are overpriced. The best is you leave your money at the hotel. Soon we leave Nairobi. We want to the coast south of Mombasa to Diani Beach. The road is in perfect condition and we are making good progress. The traffic is dense for African standards and they drive like crazy. They drive with Jesus and God because so nothing can happen. Along the way we supplement our supplies at street stalls. Soon the tighter hills come into view. We have made half the distance to the coast, the weather is worse, it announces the rainy season. After the ferry in Mombasa it rains, but tropical rains do not last long, however, and so the sun is shining when we arrive in paradise in Kiwi Beach. Twiga Lodge is fantastic. Green grass, white sandy beach under palm trees, Indian Ocean, a small restaurant. It could be our invention. We get to know Bruno and Ursula, two long-term travelers who are traveling for 5 years. We cook together and share travel tips. Next morning rainy season hits us again, with hours of heavy rain. Never mind, let's stay in the van. The rain came as fast as it's over now and already we have bought our dinner from a fisherman. He filleted the fish on the spot. Looks delicious and will end up in the pan. Edie, the caretaker, rounds off the matter with a coconut and introduces us to the art of eating coconut.
And I'll show you just a moment for the other thing also, because if you want to drink some water now, All right. Have a taste.
Very delicious.
This is very pure water. Nothing has been added. It's totally pure. You drink, it's yours. Or maybe you can just put them in a
Not
glass.
only mom have to taste, dad has to take a sip as well. That is how people in Eastern Africa address us foreigners.
This is much more. This is the flesh. You eat.
Another fisherman offers squid. Also it will end in the pan. So we defend our dinner against the monkeys. The coconut we had to leave to the monkey, it was faster. A crab logs for dinner, but it leaves us better, otherwise it ends up in the pan as well. So we enjoy our dinner under the palm trees. It could not be better if Tara were not feeling worse and worse. In a cloak and dagger emergency operation, the adventurous must get out, otherwise she would bleed to death. Paradise is relative, but we were lucky, and by the skill of Dr. Peter, she survived the surgery. A few days later, he removed the stitches. She's still wobbly, but on the way to recovery. We extend our stay at Trigger Lodge to give her time to recover. There are worse places to spend your time.
And she's a strong.
The days pass and Sven and Nadine, a German couple with their ancient Land Rover, arrives at the site. They are on the way to Germany. The car they bought in South Africa. We enjoy a few days in paradise with palm trees and sandy beach. The rainy season seems to be over, and we are planning to travel with Sven and Nadine a distance together. Finally, after 6 weeks, we leave TV Beach and drive to the Shimba Hills. We want to visit the national park. Through beautiful scenery, we swing around the world. Palm trees along the road, which is not bad, and soon we reach the gate of the park. We want to stay here, but the prices are high, and we give up and decide to continue to Void to spend the night there. Initially the track is still good, but it is getting worse. The rainy season has left its mark. There are still 175 kilometers to Void. If this keeps up, we need to stay in the bush somewhere. We need to stop. A sloping muddy piece lies ahead. On foot we explore the passage to see if we get through here. We decided to risk it. Made it. Looked worse than it was. Now is Sven's turn. Also made. And then it goes on. After an hour we are held back. The road is blocked. The truck spun out and turned over and has lost its load. We have to wait until the road is cleared again. The thing is evolving into a mud battle, but now there is no turning back.
Du bleibst rechts.
Nein. Ouch, we set up very hard. I hope nothing is damaged. says oil is dripping from our van. No, on closer inspection it is diesel. Where it comes from cannot be localized because of the mud. It is not much, so we should still make it to Voi. Just before sunset we reached Voi, our dog tired, and we checked into the Red Elephant Lodge. Tomorrow we have to go to a garage. The specialists say that the tank was completely destroyed, demounted it, so they cannot fix it. So the whole thing is put back in and the diesel is filled into the tank again. Oddly, the tank doesn't leak anymore. Obviously, only the hose into the tank or from the tank was loose and now is tightened again. In any case, the action continues until the afternoon. It is too late to continue, so back to the Red Elephant Lodge. We have once again good luck. Elephants gather at the waterhole and we can easily observe them from the lodge. It is a herd of cows with calves. The mothers are indeed alarmed by our presence, but not particularly worried. The bungalows of the lodge overlooking the waterhole are built in typical style of Africa. After the elephants were gone, another squad baboons comes to the waterhole. In the morning we start early. We pack our things. Sven and Nadine are already in Nairobi. We want to go to Tsavo National Park. After a short time outside of Voi, we see an elephant bull. We drive all day and evening and reach the gate with a broken stabilizer. The mechanic repaired it during the night, so we can spend the night at the gate, and early morning, with permission for Tara, we could enter the park. We soon see a marabou stork and enjoy the rugged beauty of the Tsavo National Park. The western part has the most visitors, so the numbers have declined sharply due to high ticket prices. The landscape here is varied and appealing to the perennial leading Tsavo River. The landscape consists of rolling plains and dense riverine forests. We remain a bit on the river and enjoy the silence, hoping that the animals come to the water. After a while we give up and drive to Mzima Springs. Shortly before the springs an ostrich crosses our way. We stop and can see it still in the thick bush. At the springs you are allowed to get out of your car. On a pass you can explore the springs quite well. Up to 500 million liters of clean water each day passes through the porous volcanic rock, which collects in pools and ponds. It is believed that it originates 100 kilometers away at Mount Kilimanjaro and the Julu Hills. The path leads along the shore of the spring and to an underwater observatory. One can observe crocodiles and hippos above and underwater, but today we have no luck. It's getting late and we drive to the campsite. Along the way we still see a Maasai giraffe in the light of the setting sun. At the campsite we make a fire for dinner and to keep wild animals away from us. Only in the early morning is a good chance of seeing animals. We leave early, the scenery is great in the morning light and we catch our first views of Mount Kilimanjaro. A few kilometers from the campsite we see a dead zebra. A leopard has killed it, he is still around. Even the jackals are here and make use of the prey. The intestines are towed to a quiet place and consumed. In the sun, the carcass is already bloated. Spotted hyenas are also waiting for the opportunity, but fear the leopard.
Did you see lions, huh?
Meanwhile, the back part of the zebra is already missing and the vultures are waiting patiently in the trees until it is their turn. We drive to a hill from which you will have a great view of Mount Kilimanjaro. Behind the hill, we see a herd of zebra looking startled at distance.
Rechts abbiegen in den Offroad.
On the outlook, we have the magnificent view of the highest mountain in Africa. A beautiful sight, with a cloud rest below the summit. We can hardly get enough. No other tourists here, so we have Kilimanjaro for ourselves. Poacher's Outlook, the mountain is called. We know now why, because from here you have a wide view over the savannah and may well spot for wildlife. Then we have luck again. A safari van reveals the presence of lions. A male and female stroll into the bush. The lioness will soon be ready to mate. The male follows her. We leave Tsavo National Park, stop at a lava field, but still want to get into the Masai Mara today, the Kenyan part of Serengeti. We had to take an armed guide on board. Apparently the road is dangerous. It is said that at this place again and again tourists are attacked. We should drop the ranger at Amboseli National Park. From that point the route to the Masai Mara is safe. The gravel road to the Dalek Gate is no piece of cake, and we lose our brake pads, find them again, and go with no brakes to the Aruba Mara Lodge, which is run by the German Gerdi. We will spend a few days there. The lodge and the campsite are right on Talek River, and we can sit nicely on the shore and watch the animals. Warthogs romp, and a crocodile sleeps in the shade on the banks of the river. Since our dog Tara is not allowed into the national park, we have found another solution. She stays in the car in the shade, and we drive with Moses from the lodge for a day trip to the Masai Mara. We start early. Moses is a traditional living Maasai who works at the lodge and tours the park with clients. He loads the old Toyota Land Cruiser and off we go. After a few minutes game drive, we already see the first wild animals. The Masai Mara has the highest density of animals in all of Kenya. The young giraffe inspects us curiously. Quickly the mother is at hand. It is just the time of the great migration of wildebeest and zebra, which follow the rains to constantly eat fresh grass. Giraffes do not migrate. They are not so dependent on green grass. They eat the leaves of trees which are throughout the year lush and green. We spot a pair of ostrich. The male has jet black plumage, the female is light brown color to be camouflaged better during incubation of the eggs. More than 2.5 million animals going to the Great Migration, which is a 1,000 kilometer circuit. 1.7 million wildebeest and 800,000 zebras move, accompanied by Thompson gazelles. The tour starts in the south of the Serengeti in Tanzania. In May, the animals begin to migrate gradually to the north. The young are then already large enough to endure the trek. Between August and October they come to the Mara River, where many of the animals die. In December they pull back on the east side in the south of the Serengeti. Moses spotted cheetahs. We drive closer. We cannot see exactly if they are three brothers or a mother with teenage children. Moses thinks three males who form hunting communities because the common hunting increases the chance of good prey. Cheetahs are not territorial. They follow the wildebeest on their migration and are fast runners. We drive on. We want to the Mara River. Moses drives the cruiser with great skill through water and on the grassy plains. We enjoy the scenery and fascinating wildlife. In the tall grass we discover a spotted hyena. It seems to be hunting. She senses in all directions for prey, but she is alone, so the hunt is extremely difficult. The wildebeest have discovered her and flee. A small group of zebras is near, maybe they are at the target of the hyena. The zebras have discovered the hyena and flee as well. Not a good day for the predator. Arriving at the Mara River, a few zebras and wildebeest awaiting their chance to cross the river safely. Again and again an animal starts an attempt, but turns around at the last second. If an animal dares, the whole group follows. Some safari vehicles have gathered at the river to wait for the moment when the herd starts. A dead wildebeest is floating in the water. Probably a group further up the river has ventured a crossing, and here the wildebeest drowned. Probably fell and drowned. Now the crocodiles will grab it. The group tries it again and again, but does not dare, not without reason, because on the opposite bank there is a mighty crocodile, waiting motionless for prey. We do not want to wait anymore and decide to make a picnic at the river. Moses explores the situation. Here it seems to be safe. Only a couple of hippos splashing in the water, not very excited by our presence. And the crocodile takes his laps in the water. A really pleasant picnic area, but Moses knows the nature and the animals better, so we have set up a small table and chairs here. It's a really nice place at the river. Moses peering through binoculars and if he can find something interesting. But there is nothing to see. Alexandra watched the crocodiles in the water, but it's time we have to go back. On the way back we find a lion in the tree with a lioness, an unusual sight. Even Moses had never seen anything like it. The day is coming to an end and we are tired and come exhausted back to the lodge. The next day we visit a Maasai village with Patrick. We march through the bush and on the way to his village he shows us some interesting things, like the tree, from its branch they gain the twigs to brush their teeth. With this stick, the trees are scrubbed without paste. The tree is said to have cleansing power. Soon we arrive at Patrick's manyatta and the young warriors begin to dance for us. The manyatta consists of several mud houses that are built around a square. The whole manyatta is surrounded with bushes to keep wild animals outside and domestic animals inside. We can look at the house in more detail.
The brothers, they have cow dung here. They smear all the walls covering with cow dung. Each house always has got two beds. Here there is a bed and there is another one. They don't have mattresses in their beds. They have cow skins. And this bed here is for children and that one is for parents. And they have a fireplace here. They used to light fire to prevent coldness at night. They used to light fire for cooking. They used to light fire to produce a little bit smoke to chase the mosquitoes away.
As a farewell, even the Maasai women dance for us. Back at the lodge, we end the day quietly. For tomorrow, we must move on. Those were wonderful days here. Today we want to make it to Lake Nawasha. Still a water crossing. The road is terrible from the Masemara to Narok. For about 80 kilometers we need 4 hours. But soon again we have tarmac under the wheels and soon we are on Lake Nawasha. The campsite is beautiful, right on the lake, and suddenly Stefan and Steffi arrive. We have met them in Nairobi. We are happy, some beef on the grill, nothing can prevent a great evening. Quickly we realize that we have similar travel plans, and so we decide to go together for the next few weeks. At night we were visited by another hippo. What more could you want? And in the morning we sit in our cars on the way to Lake Baringo.
Pass auf.
Camp is idyllic, located directly at the lakeside, and in the afternoon we are lucky and get a visit from a hippo bull with his ladies. Hippos look sweet and cute, but they aren't. They are responsible for the most serious accidents or fatal injuries. Especially if you get between hippo and water, the animals feel threatened and attack. They are damn fast, which is often underestimated. It's nice to watch the animals because it is extremely rare that they leave the water during the day and graze on land. About 1 hour we have the opportunity to watch them. They graze peacefully, but their eyes staring at us. Finally, they disappear into the lake because the water is the element where they feel most comfortable. On the shore of the campsite, a crocodile sleeps quietly. We are a little worried, especially because of Tara, because we camp not 8 feet away from the crocodile. The next morning, we take a boat trip on Lake Baringo. The guide promises fish eagle. We risk the trip. The boat is not very big, but the lake is as smooth as glass, not a ripple. First, it goes along the shore. We need to find a fisherman who sells us fish, because this will serve as a bait. Actually a cruel thing. The fish is pushed a cord into the mouth so that it is not dead, but on the surface moving. That is to attract the fish eagle. Weaver bird's nest in the middle of the lake. We have not seen it yet, but the idea is good, because here the nests are safe from snakes.
On the other side of the lake.
And soon we meet the first fisherman. In a papyrus boat, as we know it from Ethiopia, he approached paddling. A second one approaches. Actually, we could buy dinner here, but we have already bought beef.
Sijui nataka tafuta. Tunawachia nafasi bwana.
Tunatafuta simu.
Ngoja haiko.
Hapa hii inamaanisha inazama.
Hawezi? Hebu weka hiyo.
Iko 03 hapa.
Achia sisi hiyo. Ndio ile hiyo sikiri ndio ile. Ngoja tu. Achia sisi hiyo ingine. Hata
This is eigentlich Quälerei.
The fisherman prepares the fish as directed. Quickly the deal is finished and we continue.
nani? Ofisi? Haya. Luka. Haya.
We go to an island in the middle of the lake. There should be the fish eagle. But first, we just scare a cormorant and then a heron. A little later we spot the fish eagle nest high in a tree. Our boatman imitates the cry, but the eagle cannot be seen. Bad luck. We return, passing a colony of herons on the shore, and we see a crocodile which slowly disappears into the water. The boat trip was interesting nonetheless. There are no guarantees for wildlife sightings, so much is left to chance. The guide is a nice guy and has been quite trying. Our day ends with beef barbecue. Tomorrow we continue the Eldoret. In Eldoret we went to Namibia Fish River Camp, which is led by an Indian named Raj. The site is beautiful, well maintained with a barbecue, and we feel well. Tara also enjoys the atmosphere here. The camp is our last stop in Kenya. Tomorrow we will go over the border into Uganda and come to Sipi Falls. Steve wants to know and has chosen the harder route, via Kitale to Uganda and around Mount Elgon to Sipi Falls. I'm skeptical about this route, but we will see. And already after a few kilometers we need to change and reverse the route because the road is a disaster. So we have to take a small detour. What we do not yet know, it is the day of detours. We squeeze our way through the city. It is the last village before the border. Worse and worse with deep washouts and harder surface. Actually unbelievable that this is a road that links two states. We are approaching the border crossing. Uganda we are coming. We are already excited about